Hey everybody, welcome to my new channel. And if you followed me from my main channel over here, welcome. If you get a chance, subscribe. That would be really great, and it would encourage me to kind of keep going and kind of push me forward. So, what's the goal of the channel? The goal of the channel is to kind of document incremental progress in playing the guitar, my new hobby. And with the main goal is I want to play Master of Puppets. That's it. That's the song. That's the song I want to play, and I want to be able to play it from beginning to end, solos and all. Okay, and I want to play along with the CD, and I think it would be great. I think it'd be super fun. So that's my goal. I know it's hard. I know there's a lot of technical parts to it, but hey, if you don't have a goal, then you kind of don't know where you're going, right? So I really think you need to kind of set your sights on what's the thing at the end of the rainbow, so that you can track your progress. And am I getting there? Am I making a little progress? Is that getting a little bit easier? Is that getting a little bit easier? Are my fingers doing what they're supposed to be doing? That's the idea. Okay, so we need to have a goal at the end. That's the goal at the end. The main idea is to learn guitar along the way and pick up some skills and play other things too, because I have a wide variety of musical tastes. I love everything from kind of big band jazz, Coltrane, the Ink Spots, even that kind of 30s, 40s jazz, all the way to Corrosion of Conformity and Avatar, and some of these really heavier metal bands that are really technical. Polyphia is amazing. I really like their stuff, and I want to be able to kind of jam along or play with. I think that would be a lot of fun. So even country. Hey, we can learn all sorts of different things, and I think along the way, I think I can do that. So let me start out by saying I got some encouragement from my wife to do this. I was kind of flipping through some YouTube channels and saw that there were some kind of music 101 lessons, and she said, "Hey, that's a great hobby. You should probably do that." And I was like, that would be a lot of fun. So, in full disclosure, I did play the guitar from about 16 to about 18, but I was mostly self-taught, and this was back before there was internet. And a lot of it was, well, there was internet, but there was no YouTube. There was no how-to videos online. Everything was written down, and you had to read it and try to apply it yourself. And I did have a few teachers. Two things. I don't think those were the right teachers for me, and I probably wasn't the best student. I wasn't the right student. I didn't have the right frame of mind. And if you're a student of Robert Pirsig, like I am, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, you'll fully understand what I mean by that. The student has to be ready for the information. Otherwise, it kind of falls on deaf ears. So I just wanted to play cool songs. I wanted to look cool, back then. And I had a really great guitar, apparently. I did not know what I had at the time. I had a Les Paul Studio that had triple humbuckers, 3 gold pickup humbuckers. It was all black with pearl inlays, and I went to look to see what the hell was running these days, and I ended up selling that guitar for just under $1,000 in early 2000s, and 2001 ish, and now that guitar is close to $7,000 to $10,000, and I found a medium grade one for about $6,500. So I didn't know what I had at the time, which is a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. So we move on, and that's totally fine. So I did play for a little bit, but I wasn't super great. I tried my hardest, but to be honest with you, again, self-taught and wasn't really ready for official instruction. So I'm older now. And it's kind of cool, and we'll see how it goes. I'll be honest with you, nervous about this entire situation just because I'm putting myself out there for people to see this, see me fail and do poorly, and that's not a great feeling, if I'm honest. So let me just kind of walk you through it. I'll tell you about the equipment that I've got that I'm starting with, and maybe I'll upgrade. Maybe I'll put some of my posters up on the wall eventually. Maybe I'll fix some lighting or get different cameras or something. But this is kind of step one. So let me kind of walk you through the equipment, what my plan is for it, and then yeah, I'll do my first playthrough, and we'll just kind of struggle with it together. Okay. So anyway, thanks for the journey. Thanks for stopping by, and yeah, let's get started. All right, well, I mean, let's start with the gear. So, again, I had a Studio Les Paul. It was all black, triple humbuckers. It was great. Apparently, I didn't know what I had. It was a great guitar. Didn't know at the time. So, wife and I went to the store, and the weird thing that kind of happened was I ended up selling that guitar and all my musical equipment at kind of all at once because I wanted to move into cars, and which is kind of ironic because had I not done that, I wouldn't be here probably not learning the guitar at this point in my life, because that allowed me to buy some equipment for my car and also some camera equipment too, which if you're not familiar, I have written a couple books about cars. I used to shoot and write for various automotive magazines, and I started a whole new career, and now I work with cars every day. My main job is I work for a company that does scans and calibrations, so it's very automotive in nature. So it is entirely possible that guitar got me here today. So with that said, I went in it. I kind of know what I like. I liked Ibanez's, and I really liked Les Pauls. That was kind of my thing. I've had I had an Epiphone, a Les Paul, and I had a clone, and then I had an actual Les Paul Studio with the triple humbuckers that I mentioned. Great guitar. Again, not sure where life would have gone had I not done that. But when I was looking for them, I kind of knew that I liked Les Pauls. I like the way they looked. I like the way they sound. I have played them before. I'm very familiar with them. I don't know. I'm not a huge Fender fan. They just don't fit me just right. So, and you kind of have to look at a guitar and you go, yeah, that's the one. So we went to several stores, my wife and I, and we kind of checked them out. And I'll be honest with you, it was, it's nerve-wracking when you go in there and there are people who are musical and they're playing the instrument. And I used to play, but, again, 25 plus years ago. I wasn't very good back then. And, yeah. So, it's intimidating to walk into a store with people who are really musical and, play instruments all day long. So, I went to a couple stores. I know what I liked. Wife and I had a bit of a chat, and basically kind of came down to this guy here. It's reminiscent of the very first guitar I had, which was an Epiphone. It was a very cheap, at the time, mid-90s, it was probably $50-$75, but it was the Sunburst version, and a friend of mine, Ian, ended up buying it off me and smashing it, and then he came back with the head, and that was it. That was all that was left of that particular guitar. So this one reminded me of my very first one, and although this is a real Les Paul, this is not an Epiphone, and this is the Supreme version. Now, I did get it used, so I did get quite a discount because I'm not sure if this translates well onto. Yeah, you can kind of see it on the camera there. There's a dent. There's a significant. You can kind of see it right there. A dent in the finish, and it is obvious. Otherwise, the guitar is virtually flawless. Okay, so that's the only issue. Now, I ended up getting about 25% off of this particular model. This is the Supreme model, so it's kind of got the upgraded inlays and got the upgraded hardware. Yeah, it sounds great, plays great. So I kind of knew, I'm one of those people that says, buy once, cry once, right? And buy once and also never change it after that. So it might a little bit expensive up front, but I know I can never blame the equipment, and that's the idea. Okay, so let's put this away for a second. The second thing that I picked up was a very small practice amp. The amp is a Fender LT50, and while it's not the best amp in the world. It's not the loudest amp in the world. It does have a lot of presets that are kind of built into it, so I don't necessarily have to buy a lot of effects pedals if I don't want to. And I can always upgrade it. That one's pretty easy. That doesn't necessarily affect how I play, so that was, you know, kind of a minor issue. And it stuck in there was this tuner, because back when I first started, we didn't really have electric tuners. They kind of came out. They were more popular late 90s, early 2000s, and now they're, you know, look at this thing. I mean, these things are tiny and great, so you don't have to do it by ear nearly as much or use a tuning fork. So this has been great. So that's basically it. I did get a set of you know, my old headphones that I have, so I can plug those in to the amp, so I don't annoy my family playing if I want to turn up the volume a little bit. But yeah, so that's the equipment. So in my methodology for learning, I'm in adult learning. This is what I do for a living. And I've put a plan together for myself, and the plan is I'm going to take a month to kind of fiddle around every day, maybe go on YouTube, check out some videos, which wasn't around at the time when I was playing. So, man, that's awesome. And I wish that was around when I was a kid, because, man, I could have learned so much more, so much faster from so many different and, you know, variety of people. So, I kind of missed that boat, unfortunately, which is kind of sad, but, you know, it is what it is. So that's my plan, is I'm just going to familiarize myself with the guitar, so that my wife decided for my Christmas present, she's going to buy me some lessons down at the local guitar center, and that is going to be my Christmas present. So I'll take 4 lessons, and if I like them, I'll keep going. But the idea is to hopefully learn some scales before I get there, familiarize myself with it so I don't waste my time. I don't waste my money, I don't waste my time, so that when I get there, I am familiar with the guitar, I know how to tune it, I don't have to really, you know, spend time on the little things, right? I want to be able to just be comfortable, be able to rest my hands on it, and maybe play a note or two. So that's kind of the goal for there. And what I'm thinking of doing is I'm gonna chunk my goal into smaller sections, right? You gotta walk before you can run, unless you were my son, who literally didn't walk at all. He was a little late to walking, literally one day stood up and ran across the room. No walking necessary. So I'm not him. So my goal is I'm gonna play a little bit of Master of Puppets every day. Just start with the chorus, or start with, you know, real slow, and then kind of bring it together as we go. So there are some online tutorials that I'm going to do. I'm also going to show you some of those as I go with them, and that's kind of my methodology. So you know, do the basics, start off with the basics, see how it goes, and then move along. And then maybe I'll upgrade my space, or, you know, something. I haven't quite 100% figured that out yet, but that is the end goal. And I think if I can do puppets with the solo, by the end of it, I'll have come a really long way. Okay, so that'll be really sweet. So, okay. So that's my methodology. That's my thought. What do you think? Let me know down in the description if you think that is a silly plan or what. But I do plan on getting some formal education through some actual teachers, and I talked to a couple of them while I was there, and they understood. They're like, okay, adult coming back to play, has a goal of wanting to, you know, play some metal, but also blues and rock and some kind of old 60s stuff. So really like some of that old 60s music as well. So yeah, let me know what you think in the description down below. Leave a comment if you think my methodology is weird. So let's move on to tuning and I don't know, the first lesson.